Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen wa alihi tayyibin wa ashabihi al-mukarramin. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في شان حبيبه الكريم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد كما تحب وترضى بأن تصلي عليه صلاة وسلام عليك يا سيدي يا حبيبي يا رسول الله. Dr. Baqar Azmi, other brothers sitting on the top table, my dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Roughly for 30 minutes, inshallah, I am going to share with you some of my thoughts about Islam being the solution for global terrorism. The war on terrorism has become, as you know all, the slogan of 21st century. Print and electronic media are saturated with news, views, comments, analysis, and strategies to combat it. And by going through that material in the social media, it seems that everybody knows what terrorism is. But scholars and researchers, to my surprise, say that even today, on 26th April 2015, it is impossible to define terrorism with consensus. As we all know, even the General Assembly of the United Nations, after considerable deliberations, was not able to come up with a definition of this widely used term of terrorism. Generally, and for the sake of my presentation, let me share with you, if you would kindly allow me, that terrorism is described as politically motivated violence. We have condemned as Muslims all over the world all types and all shapes of terrorism. Whether it is state-sponsored terrorism, individual cases of terrorism, radical organizations, terrorism, violent or even non-violent terrorism, terrorism conducted by people who claim affiliated or identified themselves with a faith, or the terrorism that is carried out in the name of a faith or in the name of God. We condemn and we have condemned all types of terrorism. When Anglicans and Catholics were engaged in terrorist activities for decades in Northern Ireland, we condemned that also. When Tamil Tigers were involved in suicide bombings, we considered that also as an act of terrorism and we condemned that. The nerve gas attack in Japan was also an act of terrorism and we condemned that. And we all know that what happened on 9/11, what happened on 7/7, what happened recently in a school in Peshawar in Pakistan where around 132 students were killed, we consider all those acts as terrorism and we condemn that. We also condemn the attack on Canadian Parliament, and we have all condemned that. Is condemnation alone will be satisfying our claim that Islam is the solution for global terrorism? Perhaps not. So let me take you with me for a brief period of time to the references in the Quran that clearly offers a solution to this global criminal problem. The Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said in a hadith which is recorded in the collection of Imam Bukhari, and in the collection of Imam Bukhari this is hadith number 5837. Our Nabi sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam says, the person who commits suicide by leaping from a mountain will forever continuously fall in the fire of hell. And the person who commits suicide by consuming poison will have poison in his hands and will forever drink from that poison in the fire of hell. And the person who commits suicide by means of a knife will have the knife in his hands and will perpetually inflict wounds over his stomach in the fire of hell. So this is how our Nabi sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam is disapproving an act of suicide. And there is another hadith in the collection of Imam Tirmizi, and in the collection of Tirmizi, this is hadith number 1089, that Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam did not perform himself the funeral prayer of a person who committed suicide. And in the light of these and other references, the Sharia law is very clear that to commit suicide intentionally is unlawful, is haram, and is a major sin. The terrorists, they take their own life as well as they kill others. So, taking the life of others, killing someone else, what is the view of Quran about it? There is a famous reference, have been repeatedly quoted on so many occasions, in so many talks and speeches by so many Muslim scholars. Let me repeat that once again. Quran in Surah Al-Ma'idah, which is Surah number 5, ayah number 32 says, Man qatala nafsan bighayri nafsin أو فساد في الأرض فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا. If anyone killed a person, remember, the word in the Quran is man qatala nafsan. Quran doesn't say man qatala musliman.